everybody, welcome back to our Blacklist episode rewind where we're going to talk about episode 10. This is The Director, The Conclusion. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And let's go ahead and start with our overall thoughts for finally the conclusion of this long Elizabeth King on the run.
And that's exactly pretty much what it is. It concludes everything. It is all wrapped up in a nice little package.
Just like last week.
Very satisfying. And now you're kind of sitting back going, well, where are they going to go from here?
Right.
But I'm excited because I think they're going to kind of get back to that Blacklist pattern where they had like
the episodic procedural stuff.
Because I really liked it.
Yeah.
And now that they've kind of concluded all of the big stuff, and yet it's been, mid part of season 3, and we still have no idea of the relationship between Elizabeth King and Reddington.
It was still not answered. I feel like if I were to compare last week's episode to this week's episode, I think last week's had a little bit more oomph because it had more action scenes in it. It was action-packed. It had those montages of Red getting his team together and stuff like that. But it was still a very satisfying end. And
yeah.
I hesitate to say they made it so easy for Elizabeth to get exonerated because it was such a long ordeal that the trial was just kind of maybe a total of 3-4 minutes and it was done.
Yeah.
We really didn't get to. I would have liked to see it in court, but really, I'm nitpicking at it now.
Yeah, and well, then it would have transitioned. It would have changed from what it was. And this episode was very much a heist episode.
Yeah.
They focused on the kidnapping and the setup, and then as soon as Reddington had everything he needed, it was set, spike. And he was like, well, there was only one way that it could go. Once he had all of his pieces in play, there was only one end result that could have happened. And that was what happened. And I loved the way that what happened to the director at the very end.
What are your favorite things that really stood out to you for this episode? Some of the positives.
The thing that I liked the most was the heist. Was when you found out what they were doing on the 8th floor, changing it to the 6th floor, fixing everything so it looks exactly the same. And then, what is it? Just like an Ant-Man. Where it wasn't as big and boom as some of the other Marvel movies. But it's still... It has that heist feel to it.
Yeah.
And there's something that's just exciting about how is it going to work and when it starts playing out. And then they get him and then they start playing out that end game. And it's all of a conclusion of a heist. And I just really enjoyed watching the heist unfold.
I agree. I really did love the montage where they're trying to duplicate 6th floor and 8th floor. And when Mr. Kaplan, by the way, I love having her in episodes. So just keep bringing her back. She's got to be one of, she's like the unsung hero, I feel, of Blacklist. I love her. Every time she comes back, I'm like, yes, Mr. Kaplan. I don't know why they call her that, but alien, they're back.
And then when she was talking to the director as he was walking in, where's the other one? Oh, her daughter's sick. She's out.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was the way that she played it was just very still her, but very natural on the way that it should have been played for her.
Oops, I just kicked the table.
She's not very much of an her character is not much of an actor, but yet she still played her role well.
Yeah, she still did it well. No one suspects because she's so hidden.
Everyone loves apples.
That's what I was gonna say. When they couldn't find the horse statue, they couldn't find a duplicate of it. And they're like, he's going to know. And even the lawyer, Martin Gerard, was like, they're going to know. And Darden is like, glass bowl, crystal, apples. Everybody loves apples. And what's funny is the director stopped. And I was like, the whole thing's blown. That's it. Mm-hmm. And he grabbed not one, but 2 apples. One for himself and one for his security guard.
And I love the way that he kind of just tossed it to him. Kind of like how you would toss a
bone to a dog.
A bone to a dog. Or I was actually thinking like a horse. Ugh. And just the way he treats his own people, it kind of makes you disgusted.
Yeah, for sure. Some of the other positives, I liked in the very beginning where it opened up because the last episode, it closed with Reddington and Aram at the graveyard saying, let's gather the team, we're going to go after the Cabal. What happens this episode when we open is Mr. Kaplan opening the little slot in the door and just seeing the team come together. And another, Navami really didn't get to do too much in this episode, but what was funny was they were checking their weapons. So, no cell phone, no weapons or whatever. She had not 1 gun, 2 gun, and she also had a knife. And Mr. Kaplan's like, my kind of girl. And I love that. I want to see more of her in future episodes. I really don't think they're going to let her go.
I really want her to be more of that tough tough girl persona.
Yeah.
Before she was, she was just a part of the team and still part of an investigator. Now she's just a total badass.
Yeah,
she's like, I don't have to follow any
and
rules.
who knows? Maybe she won't even go back to the task force. Mm-hmm. Maybe she won't.
I think she'll go back with Reddington. Because the task force kind of bitter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think Russell are kind of bitter in the ass. So
yeah.
I really don't know if she's going to be so willing to go back to that. As for just keep working, Reddington will pay her very well, I'm sure, just to work with. But it really depends. Maybe she'll just kind of become like a free agent. Another thing I really liked was Red's trying to explain to the group what he's going to do, and they're like, you're going to kidnap the director, and he kind of did like a nice summary of all the previous episodes and all the previous blacklisters that they had used to get to this point. And it was nice to hear him review about the djinn, the lawyer, the Navami's brother, the Zal bin...
Yeah.
I can't say it. I don't know. I don't remember it.
But yeah, the terrorist.
But the terrorist episode, and amongst others. So it was really nice to have that refresher from a character that's, within the story.
And it wasn't like previously on the Blacklist.
Yeah.
It made it so it was kind of like, it was a very natural, I'm catching not just the audience up, but I'm catching all of the characters up on, this has been the plan ever since. And I still like the fact that Red was like, I'm not going to tell you everything.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And everyone was like, okay. Because they still trust Reddington.
Yeah. And going back to, this is another positive, and I said that I feel like this episode didn't have oomph, but it did have me like clench my fist and like have me on the edge of my seat, especially during where they're, planning on abducting the director. Like, I was so nervous that somebody was going to die, something was going to go wrong, the whole thing was going to get blown apart, and now we have to wait until next week.
Yeah.
To see everything again. So I was really nervous pretty much through the entire episode. I'm like, something's gonna happen, somebody's gonna die, but nothing happened. It was great. And I have to say, I knew it when she started talking, Laurel Hitchens, that she was gonna throw the director under the bus.
Yeah,
she basically exposed him, as a member of the cabal. He was just kind of like, you kidding me? His face was just kind of like, this bitch.
Oh, and you saw it too when he was just sitting there watching it, and then his face just went like flat, and it was very satisfying to see him go, I'm screwed.
Do you have any negatives about this episode? Certain things you didn't like?
There wasn't anything that really caught me as because sometimes I'm like, oh, that's not believable. I don't like how they easily got into the room, or oh, you just hit it and the door opens.
Yeah.
Nothing struck me as that, but nothing struck me in the last episode either. But you had a couple.
I have a couple, but these are very minor, even more so than last week. I just wanted to see more of Dembe. He spent the last 2 episodes really not doing much, except for like giving like his Dembe stares, which are powerful. Yeah, but no lines, and I enjoy watching Dembe act. So it's, I would like to see a little bit more from him. I would like to see a little bit more from Aram, because all he did was kind of hijack the elevator.
And anywhere Aram goes, when they start the heist, he's nervous, and they're directing.
He's like clutching his little like briefcase like a scared puppy.
And then, I love magic.
And then nothing from Dembe. Yeah. So that's really it. I mean, those aren't really negatives. Just me wanting to see our favorite characters have a little bit more time to shine. But let's go on to predictions. For next week. They still left us hanging about Reddington and Elizabeth's relationship, because the director at the end basically said, I know what this is all about, and I know who you are to her. Apparently it's a big secret that's worth killing for, because he threw the director out of a plane. Oh,
I never put those two together. You're right.
Unless that was the plan all along.
I always thought that was.
But what if it wasn't? What if Reddington was like, you know what? The Venezuelans, do they really need this guy? They got the plates. They can print as much. And this is just me going off on like just the theories here. They already have the plates to print the money as much as they need. So if Reddington says, you know what? He pissed me off. He knows my secret. I'm going to throw him out the window. What are they going to say? No.
Yeah.
They don't care. They can print the money. Who cares?
And honestly, I don't think that the Venezuelans really wanted the director
So
at
you
all.
think it's more of that was already always a part of the plan?
Yeah. Because also, if that was a part of the plan, is to actually hand him over to the Venezuelans, he wouldn't have needed the
plates.
The plates. He
That's
wouldn't
true.
have needed. If they really cared about the war crimes, I think all they needed was that threat.
Yeah.
And technically, that could seriously hurt the United States government. But the Venezuelans are like, we actually want America to be rich because then our plates are worth more.
Right. And then another, I guess we can, throw some theories out there for this too. When at the very end of the episode, you have Laurel having a drink with Reddington, and she's basically saying, they're amicable. They're sitting in the same room sharing a drink. And she's basically saying, I see what your plan is. You're gonna break us down just so you can build us back up so you can have a seat at the table. So Reddington wants a seat as the couple. I think it's something else. It has to do with Elizabeth.
Yeah,
obviously.
I think he's more along the lines of trying to place himself stronger so he can bring him down. But because Reddington is so disgusted with the cabal.
Right.
And what they stand for and what they do. I think he's more along the lines of maybe, hey, I can get in under this rouge of, hey, I just wanted to be a part of the team. And now he's like, no, I'm just going to tear him down. But then you still have Solomon out there, so we have no idea what's up with him.
Well, his leader, I guess, is gone. And he's in jail, so he won't know.
Well, the director wasn't...
Oh, wait, that's right. You're right. I'm sorry. He was slightly above...
That's right. I guess the high-ups of the cabal directed Solomon
to be like the U.S.
to
president.
watch over... Oh, the president. That would suck.
It won't be the president. No. I think it'll be someone in Congress.
Well, actually, didn't Reddington say, now go ahead and call your president?
Well, yeah, for her to explain why...
Why wouldn't it be the president? But he directly said to her, your president.
You're reading into that, huh? Okay,
maybe,
it's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Maybe the president is in on it.
Yeah, well,
but then the cabal may not want the president to be a part of the cabal, because then the president is only going to be there for what?
8 years tops.
8 years? Well, 4 years. No.
4 and 4
then years
if he's reelected, then 8.
Yeah.
Or another 4. So, but you just never know. I'm wondering, what's really going to happen in the next episodes, future episodes. Like, is he going to continue to break down? I agree with you. I do want to see them going back to the weekly Blacklisters for a few episodes, and then jump back on the main storyline of where this is going to go. And I'm also really curious as to what Elizabeth wrote on that in that will.
Me too.
I'm curious because she ripped it up. She's like, I don't need this anymore. And I'm like, oh, but I wonder what was it? Did she profess her love to Tom Keene because he kind of saved her? You know.
Well, at that time though, she didn't know that he was bringing in Karakurt.
Karakurt.
It wasn't until after she was arrested. No, I might be completely wrong. I'm getting my timeline on that.
Yeah, same. But she knows that he's there. So I guess we'll find out next week. And speaking of next week, you guys, we won't have an episode. So when we come back in 2 weeks, unless Blacklist takes a break, which could just keep them with me on my Twitter, and I'll let you know the schedule. But we're going out of town for the next week, so we won't be here for next Thursday's episode, but we will be back the week after that. So you guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep leaving those comments below. Give us your theories. I love when you guys type like really long paragraphs. I promise I read it.
And we love all the theories and all the comments.
So if you like this video, thumbs up, subscribe, do all that stuff. And for me, you can find me on social media, Twitter and Instagram at Wendy Lee Zaney.
And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Dustin Zaney.
All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.